So we all know that time seems to be moving faster than any of us can keep up with, especially when we look at technology. What we have today is obsolete 5 minutes later. Dare I say, new technology is often obsolete before it even hits the shelves. And if we would talk to our great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents and tell them what the world of commerce looks like today, they would be absolutely shocked. If I woke up my great-grandfather and said, you know what? You know how I get my toothpaste? I go on this app called Amazon and they send it to me. You know how I get a new computer? I go on Amazon and they send it to me. You know how I get my groceries? I go on Instacart and they send it to me. He would say to me, Pinchas, you're crazy. Why are you ordering everything and you can't see it? Me, I go down to the market, I feel the melons, I feel the, smell the meat. If I want to buy something, I want to try it on, I want to feel it, I want to touch it, I want to know what I'm dealing with. But you buy it sight unseen? How is it that you do that? And I would tell him that not only do I do it, but we all do it. I mean, regular retail is almost dead because we're all shopping online. We're all buying products that we never see. The question is why? The question is how? How did we get to the point where we would trust that a product would come in the mail and it would be the product we wanted and that we would be happy with that product? The answer is that the first thing we all look at when we go to a new e-commerce website, or if anyone remembers the first time they went on Amazon or Instacart or whatever it might be, the first thing you always check out is the guarantee. And for any e-commerce company, one of the first things they work on in their business model is the guarantee. When Tony Hsieh had the idea of selling shoes through the internet, people thought he was crazy. Who's going to buy shoes through the internet? People want to try them on. People want to feel them first. He said, nope, I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to make it happen by giving a 365-day guarantee for every pair of shoes. You buy a pair of shoes today, you can return it for 365 days. And like that, he built a $1.2 million online shoe company that was bought by Amazon. It's the first thing we all look for, the guarantee. And you know who the originator, the first recorded guarantor was in history? It was none other than Moshe Rabbeinu, none other than our teacher Moses. And his last will and testament to the Jewish people, what we know as Sefer Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, he said something fascinating to the 3 million Jews that were about to enter into the land of Israel without him. He said, you're going to go into the land of Israel, but don't get too comfortable because you're not going to be there very long. Things are going to happen. You're going to be influenced by the surrounding nations, the Canaanite nations, and after a few hundred years, you're going to end up getting kicked out of the land. And you're not only going to be kicked out, but you're going to be dispersed throughout the whole entire world. You're going to remain few in number. But you know what? You're going to survive. And you're going to survive a lot. To remain few in number, it's going to take a lot of forces. There's going to be assimilation. There's going to be Hitler, Yamach Shemo. There's going to be Khmelnytsky, Yamach Shemo. There's going to be pogroms. There's going to be everything to keep you few in number. But the whole time, you're going to survive. You're going to remain a people. You're going to remain a nation in exile. And Moshe wasn't done with his guarantee then. He added in one more piece before he took leave of the Jewish people. He said that in the end, you're going to come back to this land we're about to enter. After your exile, you're going to come back to the land of Israel. And Torah is going to flourish there once again. How do you like that for a guarantee? I mean, that for sure beats Tony Hsieh's 365 days. I mean, this is a 3,000-year guarantee that we've all seen come true. And it's remarkable. I mean, how many nations are there that are exiled and even remain a nation? A few years ago, the Dalai Lama brought together a number of rabbis, and he said, I want to figure out how to survive in exile. Somehow your people has done it. I want to know how that is because we're having a hard time with this. And they were only 3 decades into their exile at the time. We were 3 centuries. And as I said, the nations haven't made it easy for us. We haven't always made it easy for ourselves. Yet here we are. The ultimate guarantee is that the Jewish people will survive. Am Yisrael Chai. So if you're worried about what's going on in the world today, yes, there's a rise of anti-Semitism and it's terrible. Yes, we all just witnessed 2 Jewish congregations being shot up 6 months apart from each other right here in America. And it's all terrible. But I have to tell you something. You don't have to worry about the Jewish people. The Jewish people have an eternal guarantee that we are going to be here forever. So we don't have to worry. Or do we? The guarantee is for the nation. The guarantee is for the Jewish people. But what about the individual? What's the guarantee for the individual? How can the individual make it that they can be part of the nation that will live forever? What can we do to guarantee that in 1 generation, 2 generations, 3 generations, that we will have grandchildren and great-grandchildren that will still be living as Jews and be part of that guarantee? Where's that guarantee? Multiple places our sages tell us that guarantee is the study of Torah. A connection to Limud Torah, a connection to Jewish learning, that's how you grab on to the eternal guarantee of the Jewish people. And that's why Partners in Torah was started here in Cleveland. As David mentioned, David Seymour Louis and Mindys Drive took that fateful trip to Detroit. Not because they were worried about the Jewish people, but they were worried about Cleveland. What's going to be with the 80,000 Jews in Cleveland? Will they be part of the eternal Jewish people? Will we have a chapter in the annals of Jewish history or not? Many great Jewish cities have come and gone in the short time we've been here in America. As many of you know, I came from Cincinnati, where I was for 8 years before I came to Cleveland. How many of you know that in the year 1900, Cincinnati was the 2nd largest Jewish community in America? It ain't anymore. That's why our founders started Partners in Torah. They wanted to give the opportunity for every single member of the Cleveland Jewish community to be part of the eternal guarantee of the Jewish people. And that's why we're here tonight. That's what we're here to celebrate. And that's what you are here to support. As I said in the video, we've had an amazing year. At the same time, we've had a tragic year. Losing one of our co-founders, Mendy Klein, Zuckermans Levracha. And as I often say, or just about any rabbi often says, there's no coincidences in the world. For those of you who've been to our dinner before, you know that we usually do it in the winter, yet here we are in the springtime. And there's a whole slew of circumstances that feel free to talk to any board member about how this came about. It wasn't by design. And for those of you involved in the Jewish community, you know putting a springtime event on the calendar is almost impossible. So we went to the community calendar, we went back and forth, the Ritz, up and down, trying to get a date. Finally, the date of May 22nd was literally the only date from Pesach until Rosh Hashanah that we could do our event. And we put it on the calendar. And Moshe Tone, who's the Stein Family Gabbai Tzedakah, runs their charities, told me, you know that night is Mindy's first yurt site. So if you don't think there's a God, just think about that for a minute. And there's a number of other firsts that we're celebrating tonight. Yes, we're celebrating my daughter's 17th birthday. It's her first 17th birthday, by the way. And she keeps asking, we're going to have her give a shmorg, which is going to happen soon. But you know what else completed tonight? Or now we're restarting again? Today in Jewish history started a year ago tonight. Today in Jewish history was an idea of something that, I like history and wanted to try and teach through digital media a little bit. And today, just 1 year later, we have 600 consumers a day of Today in Jewish history through the different venues that we send it out through. The Rabbis Podcast started today. Rabbi Spiro, I think, had to leave already, but he was here to celebrate with us. It's now called the Rabbis Podcast, by the way, and don't you forget it, or else, things might happen. You know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, see me later. So much of what we transitioned to this year that brought us to a year where we literally doubled our numbers. We literally doubled our programs. We literally grew exponentially in 1 year, and it started on this day. From Mindys Drive forward, to do things different. And that's what we're going to continue to try and do. How are we going to do it? We have nearly 400 people crammed into this room here tonight. Many of you are involved already. Either you come on a regular Tuesday night, or you come for the shmorg nights, not just for the food, or you come to a lunch and learn, or you come to a Torah on Tap, or you listen to a podcast, or you read the things we put out on social media. Many of you are involved. But some of you aren't. And what a great opportunity right now on Mindys Yard site, our 5th anniversary, to say, you know what? I'm going to get involved. I'm going to start going to a shmorg. I'm going to participate in a program. I'm going to make learning Torah part of my life. And through doing that, I'll be able to grab onto that eternal guarantee of the Jewish people. And if you're already involved, we got something for you too. Because there's 2 other amazing areas where you can get involved in Partners in Torah. Partners in Torah is a volunteer-driven organization. If we had 10 more Dina Israelis and 10 more Nomi Landises, then we'd really catch all 80,000 Jews in Cleveland. We need mentors. We need people to help us recruit mentees. We need people to bring programs to their offices. We need people to help us bring programs to libraries. We need people to help us bring programs to teens and adults and everything. That's what we need to do, and I can't do it alone. I try, but I can't. I got to sleep a little bit sometimes, but you can do it. So think about how you can make a difference. Where can you volunteer to make a difference for Partners in Torah to help us get to the 80,000 Jews of Cleveland? And then, of course, the third opportunity, it is a fundraiser, so I got to mention it or else the Hellers might fire me. No, I'm just kidding. Support us philanthropically. Doubling everything in a year also means increasing your budget significantly in the year. We don't charge for the shmorg. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Apple products. And when you go into the Apple store, they've removed every possible impediment between you and making a purchase. That is why we want the shmorg to continue to be for free, so that there's no impediment for someone to come and learn Torah at the shmorg. And many people sitting in this room tonight took on to sponsor a shmorg in the coming year. We have the Zuckerman family. We have the Stein family. Many people jumped on to say that they're going to do a shmorg for us in the coming year. But the budget's going up as the programming goes up. So therefore, I'll ask you, if you have the ability to help us out, and you haven't been thus far, or you have been and maybe you can do it just a little bit more, now's the time for us to sit down and have coffee. We set a goal of raising $300,000 this year. Our budget this year was $250,000. Because we want to hire more staff. We want to do more programming. And all this is coming with certain challenges. We started off with a generous seed grant for the first 5 years. And now that seed grant is starting to be rolled back over the next few years. So if we're going to continue to maintain status quo, and dare I say take it to the next level, it's going to have to be through more support. So there is something for everyone sitting in this room to help to make sure that every Jew in Cleveland has the opportunity for the eternal guarantee. You can come and learn Torah. You can be a volunteer for Partners in Torah. Or you can be one of our supporters for Partners in Torah. And together we will all do what we can to make sure that as the annals of Jewish history are written, the eternal guarantee of the Jewish people, when we all return to the land of Israel, as David spoke about in the Messianic era, that there will be a Cleveland city located in the land of Israel with 80,000 Jews and all of their descendants. And I hope that all of you will continue to partner with me to make it happen. Thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to the years to come together. Thank you.